welcome back to The Last of Us Fancast. We are, of course, here with Ballistic Gaming, ArtyTheGamer, joining us as always. Technically,
Hello.
episode 2. We're going to be talking about episode 1. I know it's kind of confusing. Follow the bouncing ball. We're going to be talking about episode 1 of the show. However, we've got some news at the very beginning here. We have decided as a group, because, you know, The Last of Us Fancast is kind of a long name. So from this point forward until the end of this, we shall be known as the Clicker Chat. So that is an Arty original. So round of applause to ArtyTheGamer.
Bow down. Just
Arty
bow
the Gamer.
down.
Bow down indeed.
Praise me, bitches!
So, first and foremost, I want to just give out several thank yous to everyone who's been supporting the podcast as of late. It is very appreciative. But yeah, man, we talked about the games all last episode, and now we're gonna finally get into the bread and butter of the reason why we're all here, the actual show itself.
So, big spoiler alert. Big.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You haven't watched the first episode, shut us off. What the fuck are you doing with your life? Go watch it. So.
Yep.
That's fair.
I say HBO Max does like a 3-month free trial or something like that. So I mean, you could definitely wait until episode 10 of this podcast. Go binge the entire show because we'll be free for the entire time. They won't be. So there you go.
Or just find a friend that has HBO and crash at their house.
There you go. There you go.
That's what I do.
So, all right. So, episode 1. We open with, of course, Sarah.
Yes.
Now, I want to just get this out of the way completely. A lot of people, I was personally worried that a lot of people were going to have a lot of really big negativity towards the show pretty much immediately right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Because they made Sarah, who in the game was a white girl, they turned her into a black girl.
I think she's Hispanic mixed, actually.
Is she?
Because
okay.
I think they wanted to match it with Pedro Pascal.
See, that makes sense. That made sense to me after I thought about it. I was like, oh, that makes sense. But apologies, I didn't mean to get that all messed up. But
no, you're good.
I was worried from the get-go that people were going to have a lot of issues with that. I don't personally, but
no issue.
You know how the fucking internet is.
I think as long as the actor does a good enough job, it doesn't matter what race they are or what they look like.
Oh. Well, there's a lot of people bitching that Pedro Pascal was playing Joel and not Troy Baker. I mean, like,
yep.
Yeah.
Troy Baker, look at what Troy looks like. Nothing like Joel.
Yep.
Troy is this. Love you, Troy. But he's not built like Joel.
Yeah.
Did you guys see, this was months ago when they were talking about just starting pre-production of the show. Jaime from Game of Thrones was allegedly gonna be Joel. Did you see that?
Really? No, I didn't. I never saw that.
I don't know his actual name. It's like Nikolai something. You know it, don't you?
Oh, I
No?
do remember
Okay.
that actually.
I know it's Nikolai. It's Nikolai something. But he was.
You say that? Yeah, I do.
Yeah. I can't necessarily say I was quote unquote happier with that casting choice. Because I am such a fan of Pedro. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think he would have done
So it's Nikolai Coster.
Coster?
Waldau.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the hyphenated last name.
Yeah. He was Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones. I'm sure there's a bunch of other shit he was probably been in, but let's be real here.
Oh, yeah.
Look him up. Oh,
He's Jaime Lannister.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like Kit Harington will always be Jon Snow.
I see.
Oh yeah.
But do you like? I don't know. A lot of people thought he was gonna be like the choice to be Joel. I don't know. Like he looks the part, but he's also got a heavy accent.
Very. Well, see, it's hard coming out of watching the first episode now.
Yeah.
Like prior to this, could I have seen a better casting? I don't know. because Pedro is such a good actor and a good adaptation to it. He has that rugged look already. He's in that age group. He looks like Joel.
Right.
They did a very good job
Oh yeah.
with that, and I don't think they could have done that as well with Nicola at all.
Right. And there was also another like alleged casting for Ellie once upon a time ago. I don't recall what it was.
Caitlin Denver.
There you go. I'm not sure who
She's
that
on
is.
it.
I say I'm not sure who that is, but I don't know. A lot of people were mad that it wasn't Ashley Johnson and Troy Baker, which I understand. You got the voice actors, but at the same point, they've already played
Ashley
those
Johnson
characters
is in her fucking 40s, I think 30s.
exactly. And granted, I mean, you know, Troy Baker's not exactly a young man either. Not that it matters for Joel, but whatever. I think it was necessary to get away from, not necessarily get away, but like separate yourself from the voice actors compared to the actual like actors of the show.
Yeah.
Because it does make almost like another kind of experience, if you will.
Yeah, unless it's like a true mocap like Death Stranding, they have the liberty to like kind of go away from the voice actors. Like in Death Stranding, it's a true mocap to where the characters that are the people that are voicing is what they look like in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, with Last of Us, there's almost no character that is portrayed as their counterpart in, you know, all reality.
Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, well, getting off of that, going back into the show. The show starts off, you've got the entire beginning with, of course, Sarah, and it definitely felt like it was a longer introduction to Sarah and that character.
Yeah.
But which I felt like we needed, especially for people that are, you know, because TV people are a lot different than video game people.
Yeah.
I feel like with especially like hardcore TV people, it takes a lot more for them to like really care about that character.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, as we spoke about in last week's episode, we all know that Sarah is that character for Joel's arc.
Yes.
And for the arc of the show. So, just I guess initial thoughts on like the entire like first part of the show leading up until shit, hits the fan.
Right.
It's really interesting how they did that with the little tiny details.
Mm-hmm.
Like we kind of touched on it last time, but like the hint of flour is what spread the infection is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, like if Sarah had eaten the biscuits or had made pancakes, or if Joel had brought home the cake that night, they would have been infected.
Yep.
And it's just like little details like that led up to the whole thing is crazy.
Yeah, there's also, if you kind of paid attention, you had to kind of pay attention quite hard, like intently, but on the radio they mentioned a place out in somewhere out in like the Middle East area that is a very high producer in flour, and they were having issues that day, like it was coming out over the radio.
Yeah.
But with the whole Sarah thing and how they had to prolong it, I think they had to do that. Like you said, video game people are different than TV people, because as a video game person, generally the character of interest you have control over to kind of get you connected to a level. You have the point of view of that character. In the show, they do it very well by kind of going at that same POV standpoint of Sarah. You follow Sarah all the way through. Joel disappears. Joel goes to work. You don't follow him to work. It's only after work you get introduced back to Joel again. Other than the morning, you are with Sarah the entire day.
Mm-hmm.
The entire day.
Yeah.
Up until, you know, the very, till the shit hits the fan.
Yeah. I did kind of gloss over. I forgot to mention it as well. The cold open with the scientists and the. I guess he was like a news anchor potentially, or late show host.
Something like that.
Talking about the cordyceps. Is that?
Yeah, cordyceps.
Yep.
Fungus.
Cordyceps. Thank you. I know I'm gonna butcher that word every fucking week. Uh, but I guess just like I don't know. It was such an interesting way to open the show because like we all knew from playing the game, we all knew that it was gonna have to start in the shit.
Yeah.
Like that's where the game started. It started in the shit. But for them to start it like that, I feel like it was necessary to give the people who don't know about The Last of Us to give it that like this is the world you're about to experience.
Yeah.
So
I think they did a very good job with that actually.
Yeah.
And I listened to the podcast. I listened to the podcast today. From The Last of Us with Troy Baker, hosted by Troy Baker, and they were mentioning it that there's two different openings they were kind of toying with. One was just a video of the fungus, the ant and the fungus. It's a very popular video if you're looking up the cordyceps fungus takeover. And then I guess he didn't like the producer Craig, right?
Craig Mazin.
Yeah.
Craig Mazin.
Yep.
Kind of pitched it again to Neil Druckmann down the line towards the end, and that's when you get the opening that we all saw.
Yep.
So there's actually two different openings to the show, and I think they went with the right one.
Definitely. I say it was interesting to get like a almost like a scientific approach to it, if you will.
Yeah.
Because like you didn't really get that explanation in the game. It was just kind of like there almost. It
You were
felt
just
like.
in it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're just in it. I mean, there's no. I mean, throughout the whole game, you never knew how the hell this thing even started.
Yeah.
There was nothing on like, oh, this is why it started. This is how it started. You just,
Pretty
that's
much.
it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Artie, any other thoughts?
I mean, like I think it was an interesting approach that they took, using like that science talk or late night show, whatever they were doing, because I liked that they did it. Don't get me wrong, I liked that they did it. It was still interesting. In the beginning, I was like, why did they do that? Because it's something that you're not used to, like playing the game. You're just like, oh, you're just getting it thrown into chaos. Like that's it. But I think it was good that they did that.
For sure. So then, okay, going back, fast forwarding past the Sarah, which I gotta just say, the show, obviously with Neil being there, you knew that like there was going to be a lot of callbacks to the game, which I feel like they've done
Very well.
perfectly.
Very well.
Yeah.
I mean, all the way down to them sitting on the couch and Sarah telling him, "I got you a present," and like he goes to check the watch, acts like it's broken.
Yep.
The whole nine, man.
Oh yeah.
It's fantastic.
I got giddy over that. I'm like, they did it.
I had that happen so many times in the show.
Oh yeah,
But
for sure.
but Tommy gets apparently put in prison or jail.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
Like what?
Yeah,
That was interesting.
Joel gets the call. Joel's got to go. Sarah wakes up and we're in the shit.
Yeah.
Joel smacks the grandma upside the head with the wrench, which was crazy to watch. And then from that point, we're in the truck driving, and like probably my favorite part of the entire episode was that they got the entire drive part from Joel's house to downtown, wherever they're at, Texas. I think.
They're somewhere in Texas. I'm not sure where though.
I think they said it's outside of San Antonio, or at least close to that.
Okay.
Whatever. But the camera angle the entire time was probably
That's
probably
so
my
good.
favorite part of that entire show.
Like down to the house they drive past as burning to the ground.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, they added like that because that's something they didn't have to add, and they added it. Like the little detail, like you said, the little minute details of the drive, the shirt that she's wearing,
Yes.
same fucking shirt she wears in the game. The layout of Joel's bedroom.
Yeah.
If you noticed, is the same in the game.
I was wondering if one of you was gonna say anything about the shirt that Sarah was wearing.
Oh, I saw it. I
Yeah.
saw it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I love little shit like that. I love little details like that. I mean, and not to get completely off track, but on the Uncharted movie did similar things referencing back to the Uncharted game series.
Yeah, not well though.
No, not well, but they tried. They tried.
tried.
Biggest credit, the biggest
I
critic
knew
is
what
right here to
scenes
my
were coming
left.
from where, but that
Yeah.
did not. Like I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but it
Yeah.
did not hold a candle to The Last of Us.
No. No.
No chance.
No. But so I mean, all right, let's get to the part here. They get into the city. They get separated from Tommy, and everyone's. I don't know, man. I want to say least favorite part, but God, it's such a good scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was anticipating it. God.
I can't tell you how many memes I saw after watching the first episode of being that everyone's like, you know, conditioned Last of Us fans versus people who've just watched the show for the first time, and it's like, I hope they make it. Me too, man.
Yeah, me too.
Why are you crying? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry, you're fine. You'll find out in about 3 minutes.
Yeah. But I mean, again, man, it's one that it was going to be that scene for me personally. That was gonna really tell me if I was really gonna give a shit about the show or not, because it had to have been that scene to begin with to really get like the diehard fans of Last of Us hooked onto the show. Yeah. And I mean, I feel like fucking Pedro, and I'm blanking on her name. They fucking nailed it. What's that?
I want to say her name is Nico.
Yeah. I think it's Nico. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Nico.
Trying to figure out who it is.
Oh, that's not Nico. It's not Nico. Okay.
Let me see. Is it Nico?
Here, I got it. I thought I did. There it is. Yeah, Nico Parker.
Nico Parker.
Yep.
Parker. There it is.
Nico Parker. So I mean, it was definitely going to be that scene for me personally that really made it to where if I was going to give a shit or not about the show.
Yeah.
And they both just fucking nailed it.
Oh,
right out of the gate. So I mean, I hate to keep referencing back to that scene, but it's kind of inevitable. Thoughts?
Yeah.
It is such like a pivotal point in the game, though.
Yeah.
Because it really just sets the tone like that.
Yeah.
Like without that scene, you're just sitting there like, okay, here's zombies. Here's this dude with this kid. And why would anyone care about that?
Yeah.
Like there's no character arc without that.
No,
whatsoever.
there's not. So, oh God, yeah. I was anticipating it. I was. But it's one thing like Troy and Nico did a very good job in that scene in itself.
Oh yeah.
But seeing the live action version of it, I think hit a lot harder.
It definitely hit like a different tone.
Harder.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like I said earlier, like almost a completely different experience.
Yeah, agreed.
Because at this point, you're dealing with real people,
Yeah.
not just like made up people.
Yeah, now you got like the blood is real, the blood is transferable.
Yep.
You know, Pedro's covered in the blood of. Oh man.
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll never get easier either. So.
Definitely not. But then from that point, we fast forward 20 years later, and where are we at? Boston? Or are we still in Texas? I don't remember.
No, we're in Boston.
We are in
sure
Boston.
They went right to Boston.
Okay, I thought so. So we're in Boston, and one of the things that I thought was a very nice personal touch for Joel's character is to just show how cut off he was emotionally from everything. Yeah. Because last we saw him, he's holding his dying baby girl.
Yeah.
And now he's pulling up a truck up to a giant burn pile in the middle of this radiated zone or quarantine zone or whatever you want to call it, and he grabs a dead kid.
Yep.
And
Just chucks him in.
Yeah.
That, oh my fucking god, that part right there. You
Yeah,
kind
that
of
was-
see how Fedra is right off the gate
Oh yeah, with the kid.
with the little boy.
Yeah.
Yes, he was infected. I understand that he was infected, but it's like, god damn, man. Like the way they do it. Yeah, we're gonna help you, blah blah blah. And they, God, like that part was motherfucker to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely I don't know. I had for whatever reason my brain told me that when they scanned him and it popped up red, my brain told me, "Oh, red, he's good."
Yeah.
And then I see Joel carry him and I'm like, "Oh, red's not good."
Yeah, that's what
Red's
I thought.
red's
Yeah,
very
it's like,
bad.
oh, he's fine. I think I said it out loud at the house. I'm like, oh, he's fine. And then he's dead. I'm like, wait, what?
Because I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
you saying like, "Oh, he's just injured. He's not doing well, whatever." But no,
Right.
he is donezo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he dead.
Maybe
Yeah.
dead. Yeah, 100%.
Oh.
That was rough though, because I think we were all sitting there like, "Oh my god, is that a zombie? Is that like,
Yeah.
an actual kid? Like, who is that supposed to be? I
Yeah.
don't think we're supposed to know who that is." And just sitting there, it's like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
And then he,
yeah, all right,
and then he
fuck.
dies. Yeah,
Nuts.
bye.
All right, see you guys.
Bye. Alrighty.
Yeah, I didn't know, man. It's crazy. Honestly, I wasn't entirely sure he wasn't like a pre-clicker or a pre-runner or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I thought at first. I'm like, oh shit, the kid's infected.
Yeah, and I thought we were gonna have to watch them like gun this kid down.
Yeah.
I was
My-
prepared.
Yeah.
I was
Go ahead.
I was prepared to like to watch these people like pull out these ARs and just start gunning this kid down. I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn, that's what the show's tone's gonna be. As
Yeah,
if we
that's-
haven't already experienced it.
A bunch of dead kids, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my thought. Like, first off, I'm like, oh shit, the kid's walking like he's infected, like he's already turned.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're setting the pace on this fucking show real quick. You know, it's like, because I mean, honestly, it would have been a good move to show that nobody's immune to
Yeah.
getting gunned down if you're infected. I think it would have been a good move to go that route, but they still killed the fucking kid,
Right.
just in a different route.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
That's
It-
fucked up either way.
It
The
definitely.
way that they did that was definitely interesting, though, because I remember like us watching it as a group was like, is he turned? No, he's not turned. He just passed out.
Mhm.
Zombies don't pass out.
Right, yeah.
So he's just exhausted. He's been traveling by himself, whatever. And then you come to find out, obviously, that he
Yep.
was bit or scratched or whatever the hell happened to him,
Right.
Yeah.
and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So, so from that point, we move forward again to the reveal of Tess and her talking about Robert, which, I
Yep.
mean, we all know how that entire scenario went with Robert. It ends up into a big fight in the game. They
Yep.
didn't really go that route in the show, which,
They
again,
went a completely different route in the
Yeah.
show.
it makes sense. I don't know. I guess time constraint wise, because that's still be something I'm gonna have to ask the two of you when we get near the end here. Of like, do you think the show's gonna go the entirety of the first game? I guess I'll fuck it. I'll ask now. Do you think that the show's gonna go the entirety of the first game? Because
I think it could.
we have clips in the trailer
Mhm.
of Joel in the Firefly HQ at the end of the game.
Yes.
We also have clips of Ellie at the very end of the game, right before credits start rolling.
Yep.
So I don't know. Are they gonna bamboozle us and like we're gonna get, I don't know, summer to fall, maybe a touch of winter, and then season 2 is gonna be winter, spring end of the game?
I don't think so.
So we'll have to see, because here's what we got to kind of see here. How long are they going to take to get through downtown Boston? That's going to set the pace. Is it going to take an episode?
Yeah.
And they're going to come out on the other end getting ready to go see Bill? It depends on the pace of this. Like, this next episode coming up is going to set the pace for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a very short episode. It's only 50 minutes.
Is
So
that
it's
going to
shorter-
be...
It's shorter than the first one, for
So
sure.
I think that was supposed to be 55. The next one's back to 125 though. An hour
Uh-huh.
25.
I was
An
going
hour
to
and a
say,
half, yeah.
is it going to fluctuate that way, or is it going to go like 50 minutes every episode from the end until the end? Because I'm not going to lie, that's a lot of story that you need to get covered in under 8
Just
episodes.
under an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause I mean-
let me do some googling, and I'll.
Because I
have
know
that answer
I've
for you.
seen a couple things. And I don't know if it's on HBO Max yet or not, but like I've seen that they're doing an episode like per chapter, which would be 12, I think. And then I've also seen 9 episodes.
Mm,
And I think it all really kind of depends on where they can end an episode.
right.
Is how they're kind of determining how it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Well, and add to that as well, not only do we have to cover the entirety of the game, but as I said last week, Riley's in there too. So obviously you've got Left Behind story also in there.
Mm-hmm.
So how are
Yep.
they going to manage I don't know, because you can't have it be to where the game, or like the game where the story in the show seems sped up. Because I mean,
Yeah.
obviously there's a lot of shit that you can take out, like the whole like going through the water. And
Yeah.
like you got a pusher on the pallet. Like you can skip all that. You can skip the filler. But like
Yeah.
there's a lot of story that you
episodes.
still is it for sure 9?
I'm on Shaq News right here, and it says every episode on here, and there's 9 of them right now.
Any kind of a length, or is it just kind of...
I'm not seeing a link just
No.
yet. I'm still searching for you.
So you got to figure they're going to be an hour at least. 50
Sure.
minutes to like an hour and 20, because our first episode was what, like an hour 25.
Yep.
Yes.
And I mean, obviously that was the premiere episode, so you know they had to give us a little bit more with that one. I don't know, man. I'm not worried about... I am a little worried that they're going to try to rush it, because it is such a long story, and you've got at this point 8 episodes, 8 hours essentially to
Yeah.
tell I mean, how long was the game? 20 hours maybe?
Not the first one, no.
No,
The first one was only 12 to 15.
12 to 15, assuming that you went around and explored.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not as long as people think with that game.
I mean,
The
definitely not as long as I thought.
Second one. Fucking Christ.
Oh my
It's a
god.
long one.
That is 30 plus hours for the second one.
Well, especially if you explore, and then you got the whole Abby part and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Which I was gonna wait to the end, but since I brought her up, I found this interesting little piece of news on Twitter earlier, which I had shared in our group chat. I had a sneeze coming. There it goes. Naughty Dog Central, which I've got it up on your screen right here for the viewers watching on YouTube, but for the listeners, I have also shared this on my Twitter. If you follow me, if you don't, you probably should. It's cool. But it's saying that Shannon Barry is going to be allegedly cast as Abby. And the only thing that we have going off of that is that Neil follows her on Twitter. Or on Instagram, rather.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like, really?
That's it.
Apparently. I will say, I've seen set pictures of her from on other stuff. She does look like she'd fit the role. I mean, she's kind of a bulkier girl.
Am I supposed to know who that is?
I don't remember her from anything I've seen.
Who is it?
but
Shannon what?
Barry.
Barry?
Yeah. Now I'm curious. I'm gonna look her up again. I looked her up
Is it-
earlier.
A or E?
It's A, I believe.
A.
E. Sorry, Berry. Oh, jeez.
Oh
OBS,
no.
OBS is freaking out.
No,
there's
not
an
OBS.
MSN.com article about that already.
Here,
Oh,
I got her.
Jesus
I got her.
Christ,
I
really?
got it right here.
So
Let's see.
I
Nothing
mean,
that
I guess I could see that.
she's not in anything that I know.
Okay.
Slant, The Wilds, a bunch of shorts, The Housemate, The Getaway, Monday Night Menace, The Offspring, Hunters. Nothing I know.
Okay.
I know she's got like the face of Abby, but she doesn't seem like she's buff enough to be Abby.
Right. Because I mean, especially like halfway through her arc, Abby's big.
Oh, she's huge. She's
Huge.
massive.
Yeah.
She's huge.
That's that old joke in the Adam Sandler movies. That's a huge bitch.
That's a huge bitch.
But sorry, we got off track.
A little bit, but I didn't know who it was, and I had to know. So.
Yeah, no, I get it. Trust me, I'm right there with you. I was curious if I knew her from anything, and of course I don't. I don't know. That'll be interesting to see what plays out. Of course, we've got to get through the entirety of the show, and whatever decisions they're gonna make.
Yeah.
So we get introduced finally to Tess, Robert, and then Ellie. And I gotta just say, I don't know if you two shared the same opinion that I have, but I thought the second Bella was on screen,
That's Ellie.
yeah, man, like
Yeah.
her
100%.
her attitude, her mannerisms,
Just everything about her just embodies Ellie.
Yeah.
Like to a T.
I don't think they could have opened it up any better.
No.
Like with the counting, that right there, I'm like, that's her.
yeah, literally.
Just a simple like, okay, now slowly, and she goes through it. I'm like, okay, she's going with it, and then the very end, 8, fuck you. I'm like, that's my girl.
Yep.
There she is.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the kick of the tray that got me. Like the fuck you was good, but then she like kicks the tray, and I'm like, oh, she's a little punk. Okay, I was like, awesome, man. I was a bit worried for Bella Ramsey, only because I had seen her in Game of Thrones, and I mean, going. I don't remember the name of her in Game of Thrones, but
Lady Mormon.
Thank you. Yeah, damn. You couldn't pick two more yin and yang roles.
Oh hell no.
And like, granted, she's a little badass in Game of Thrones too, but like, Ellie's a whole nother ball game. But I thought she nailed it from the get go, and like the second she was on screen, goosebumps.
Done.
And then of course, the whole thing happens. Thoughts on Tess? I kind of glossed over that one.
I think she's gonna do good. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like I think, like she looks the role, and I just kind of, from what we've seen of her, which hasn't been much to be honest, I think she's gonna be all right.
Yeah. I haven't seen enough of her yet to make a honest opinion just yet.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll wait till this next episode. Then when we kind of cover episode 2, I'll probably have more of an opinion.
Well, and I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news to those who haven't watched or haven't played the game.
Not gonna see too much more of her.
I was gonna say episode 2. She's probably gonna be bitten.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's see how they pace this.
So I don't know.
Let's see how they pace it.
But
They better still follow that, by the way. They better.
I can't imagine they won't. There's no way they won't.
I mean, was that not in the trailers after last week?
I don't remember seeing it. No.
Because I remember seeing him at least in the museum.
Right. No, I don't know. And then like, but, yes, Kylo, I hear you, buddy.
But interesting fact on episode 2, Neil Druckmann is the one that is directing episode 2.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Okay. Is it a new director every episode or?
Well, some of them are blanked out, so I wasn't able to see.
It's
I
probably
wonder,
a group effort.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. let's see. So the reveal of Tess, the whole situation with Robert, which was completely different from the game.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
I didn't know how to feel about that because, like,
Yeah.
granted, it felt like, because obviously with the game, they have to put you in scenarios to where you learn the controls, to where you get
Yeah.
the feel of the fight scenarios, blah 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 blah. Because I feel like that was like your first actual fight in the game was
Yeah,
the
that
fight
whole
with
little-
Robert, because it taught you how to throw the bricks, it taught you how to throw
Yeah.
the bottles, how to craft shit.
The only thing I didn't like was the fact that because in the game, Tess is the one that kills Robert.
Yes.
You show up in the episode, Robert's already fucking dead.
Yeah, which I didn't know how I felt about that one, because
Yeah,
it was like a satisfying thing to see Tess kill Robert in the game,
Yep.
because of all the bullshit that he had done, I guess, against her and Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a weird touch, but like it almost felt necessary for story-wise in the show. I don't know. It was weird. I wasn't like upset that they skipped that fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't upset about like the whole fighting thing, but I was kind of expecting them to do the whole. They got to him, like, all right, we're gonna find this guy,
Right.
and then you kind of cut scene over to where now they're going to him, so you could for the gamers out here, you kind of replayed the whole fight scene in your head.
Yeah.
And then they are confronting him. Boom, boom, boom. He sold their shit to the Fireflies. You figure that out. They have all their shit, their guns, whatever. And Tess has enough. And I'm like,
Yeah.
damn. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It was weird to see.
I think it was just a big time crunch so they could fit more of the base story into the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they did kind of stretch out that beginning part as well.
Yeah.
definitely. But obviously from that point we get the reveal of Ellie, like I had already said, and then from that you get the reveal of Marlene.
Yep.
Marlene.
Who I will say at the beginning I did not know. Obviously I found out later in that same day. I didn't know that the woman who plays Marlene in the game is the same as the woman who plays her in the show.
Yep.
She's the only recast.
That is phenomenal to me.
Yeah.
I blew my fucking mind over that. I was like, that's awesome. Like, congratulations. That's spectacular.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, obviously she fucking nailed it.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
He's been preparing.
Yeah,
That is
man.
her role right
Yeah.
there.
But I will say in the game, because like in the game, it felt like that Marlene just kind of like threw Ellie at Joel and Tess without any real like, I don't know, almost like malice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just felt like she just kind of threw them at her, and she's like, she's special. Get her to wherever.
Yeah.
But in the show, you kind of get that like backstory between Marlene and Ellie, which I appreciated. I mean,
you
the
don't
same.
figure that out till the end.
Yeah, the same could also be said about Joel and Tess, because it was hinted at in the game that they had a romantic relationship. But I mean, we clearly saw Tess get in bed with Joel. Which shout out to Joel for being the little spoon. Shouts out, men like to be the little spoon.
I mean, he was a little drugged up, so, but hey.
She didn't even ask. She's like, fuck you, I'm Big Spoon.
Yeah,
Bitch.
let's do it. But no, oh my god! And then you get the hallway scene where Joel just throws Ellie straight on her ass.
Yeets her. Holy
Literally.
shit.
Straight
Bam,
up.
bam. Like, what?
Oh, and like I think one of the nice, probably like one of my favorite little touches they put in there was that they gave, obviously they had to, but they gave Ellie the
knife.
What is it? The
Her
switchblade?
blade.
The switchblade?
Yep.
Yeah. I popped for that one. I was like, that's her knife. That's the knife that we saw on the loading screen.
And she loves that knife. I like how you kind of saw that there was a personal relationship almost when it comes to that, because that's the first thing she fucking went for when she
Yeah.
got her backpack back.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm like, yep, that's hers. That like. So I wonder if there's going to be a special thing with that come later on.
I think I already know. I think it's going to be something to where they play with Riley.
Okay.
Ooh.
I'm betting that
Interesting.
I'm betting that Riley gives it to her. I'm placing
Okay.
I'm placing all my chips on black for that one.
Okay, interesting.
So
Okay.
but and then I mean we're getting near the end here. So we get the crew together and we're talking about we're going to leave the city and the nice little touchbacks again to the game where they're in Joel's apartment. Your watch is broken. I loved that. And then we get to the scene to where they go through the tunnel and they get caught by the one officer who Joel had paid off earlier.
Yep.
Yep.
Fucking snake.
Yeah. And it's so much happened in that scene. Because
Yeah.
the
Oh,
officer
my God.
threatens him. We find out that Ellie's infected.
Yep.
Joel becomes activated and literally just kills the hell out of this guy, just pounding the hell out of his face.
Yep.
The expression from Ellie, Tess's panic, everything just happening all at once, and
I was
just
going to ask if you guys caught that with Ellie.
Yeah, her
Oh,
face.
yeah.
Yeah.
That smile.
yeah,
Yep.
Oh.
it's
I think
almost
a lot of it was like her glad that somebody was going to that length for her.
Yep.
my thoughts exactly. Yeah, I was getting ready to say because it almost felt like it was like a finally someone's going to protect me for once. Finally, someone's going to
Yeah.
back me up
Yeah.
for once.
Mm-hmm.
So
They're not
that
gonna chain me
smile,
up
man.
to a radiator in a room.
yeah,
Right.
This guy is actually gonna do something for me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I loved I'm a sucker for like visual shit. I'm a real sucker for like cinematography in movies. Like
Oh,
if a movie is filmed good, the flashback right before Joel attacks the cop of like seeing Sarah, you got the guy like that entire thing, and he just, dude,
Yeah.
oh my god,
Yeah.
I was there.
Instinctual at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
Like, I'm not going to let somebody else get killed this way again.
it was so
Yeah.
good. But beat the hell out of the cop, and then we make our way out of the city, and then there's the big pan out with the remains of Boston, and again something that I
Beautiful
didn't
touch.
So
definitely
incredible. Oh
definitely, and again something I didn't notice right away, but thanks to the lovely people on TikTok,
yeah. Yep.
the building on the left, you had a clicker on the very top, and then
Yep.
went to black, credits roll.
Yep.
Goosebumps when I went back and I saw the clicker. I was like rubbing my arm and shit. I'm like,
Yep.
oh.
Yeah, I'm interested to see. I mean, obviously, we've all seen how they're going to look, and fuck, man. I think,
Just
like,
by the
to
one that's
me,
plastered up on the wall. That right there gives you a great
Yeah.
idea
Yeah.
as what's coming.
yeah,
I'm also very excited to see if it's practical or CGI or like a mix of both.
I'm gonna say mixed, depending on how far along you are.
Yeah,
Like, obviously, with bloaters, it's gonna be mostly CGI.
has
Probably.
to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like part of me wants it to be practical, but I realize how expensive that shit is.
I
And,
think
like-
the runners and stalkers are gonna be practical.
Yeah.
I think it'll depend on how close up you get to the clickers, how practical it'll be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to waste that much time and energy and money on 200 feet from the camera that you're never going to see anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. But as we get ready to wrap up here, I just want your guys' initial thoughts of the episode. And then if you could, maybe your favorite moment of episode 1.
Okay. I mean, overall, not disappointed at all. And I thought that obviously this is one of like the best adaptations that we've ever gotten for anything.
Agreed.
Like I think they're doing such an incredible job. Like they're sticking to the story for the most part. Of course, like there's some parts like the whole Tess and Robert thing, whatever. But I think they're doing a really, really, really good job. And I just feel like that ending bit there, where you pan out to those two big buildings. that was just like, oh, shit's getting real.
Yeah.
That was probably
Yeah.
my favorite part.
I have to agree 100% with that. And probably copy almost word for word what you just said.
Yeah.
The ending, the pan out, because that was the pan out of the first cutscene you get after you exit the gate. Is that pan out right there, and you see that building for what it is, even in the game. Overall, show, everybody, damn good job. Had me on the edge of my seat waiting to see what's next. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously if you've played the game you know what's coming, but it's still kind of catching you off guard.
Definitely.
Because they're throwing little things off here and there. They're not sticking 100% to the game, which is fine. As long as they have the core shit in there, I'm good with it.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say I feel like it's not exactly asinine to say that it may be one of if not possibly the best video game adaptation
Oh yeah.
into film or TV yet. Granted, I know there's a lot of controversy over the Halo series over on Paramount Plus. I fucking loved the Halo series. I thought it was great. I thought some decisions they made were kind of but I don't know. But then you want to get into film, that's a whole other story. Because you've got, movies like Uncharted and the original Doom that came out in the early 2000s with Dwayne. That was a dumpster fire. And then, all of the Resident Evil movies that didn't even follow the fucking story of the games. It just made some random bitch named Alice. Like what?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think I can safe to say that we here at the Clicker Chat are very fucking excited to see what comes next from the show. We are very happy. We are very we're just here for it, man.
I'm pumped.
Yes. I'm stoked, man. This Sunday,
I cannot wait for Sunday.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, I wonder what's gonna come next. Even though I already know what's gonna come next, I can't wait.
But do you?
I was gonna say, but it's still that you may granted we all know the story, but it's still that whole thing of well, they changed up one thing with Robert. What's next? Maybe shake things up a little bit. Also, I also just really want to see Nick Offerman as Bill because I think that's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap things up, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Clicker Chat, the Last of Us fan cast presented by the eCast and the Shit Squad podcast. Big shout out to my partners in crime, ArtyTheGamer, Ballistic Gaming. Make sure you go follow them both on
Ballistic_gaming_ on Twitch.
And ArtyTheGamer on pretty much everything.
There we go. And you already know EROETTV on pretty much everything for me, too. We appreciate you all for stopping by. We'll see you next week on the Clicker Chat.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.